what I really want to talk about, I was going to give like 3 tips. Everyone says give like 2 to 5 tips, but I'm just going to narrow it down because I just want to talk about like the one major thing I think that really helped me launch my business and turn it into a full-time business from working it on the side. And this is one thing that has come over and over again lately in podcast interviews, and everything that I've been doing lately. People are asking about this. So if you agree with me, if you think that this could help you too, I would love to get some hearts as well. I just saw some go up there too. So thanks for those. So the one thing that really helped me turn my side hustle into a major full-time business was launching before I was ready. So let me give you a little background of exactly how I did this. But what happened is I knew that I really wanted
Thanks for sharing,
to
Coco.
start. Thank you.
Whoa, thanks for sharing,
awesome.
Veronica.
Thank you guys
huge.
for sharing. That is really huge. So the one thing that I did, I launched my business before I was ready. I sold an online course before I even had it created, which was super, super scary, but I knew that I needed that motivation, that push to actually make me follow through and create the content and actually do it. So let me back it up a little bit. But as I was getting going, I was realizing like I really love teaching and training people. I was really stuck in my day job. If you've read my blog at all, you know like how stuck I was. I just hated it. And so what I did one morning before I went to work is I sent out an email. At that time, I mean, I really didn't have that much of a list. It was less than 100 people, but I sent out an email before I went to work, and I announced a course that I was holding the next month. This course had not been created. I called it the Get Unstuck Bootcamp. And I sent the email out. I went to work. I priced it at like $97. I was using PayPal, which you can all do, super easy. And I said I was going to have this course. You can purchase it for $97. I buried it in my email. So like, you know, when you have emails, you can use MailChimp, totally free. In the email, it was like buried in the middle. So I was secretly hoping like no one would really buy it because then I'd have to prepare it. But of course, what happened? Someone did purchase it. That day I was sitting in my cubicle, went to work, and like midday I opened up my phone and I saw a PayPal order come through for $97. I'll always remember the girl who bought, she wasn't even in the US, she was in London. But that inspired me. Of course, I had to create the course then, right? So after that day, I went home, I was working a full-time job, put together a course, did all the teaching and training live with the participants. So later on, 4 other people joined the course too. So there were 5 people in my first course. I think this was back in 2012 or 2013 or something like that. And that's really what got this all started. So after that course, I ran it again, I improved it. It's now called Love Your Career Formula 2.0 because we've been changing it, improving it. But that's really what got me started, is actually putting it out there and selling something before I was even ready. So that's my one tip. If there's anything that you can do right now to start selling even before you have it completely prepared, I'd really, really recommend that. So I'd love to hear your questions. If you have any questions about how I started, about how you guys can get started. Of course, you know, we have a ton of content at classycareergirl.com. We have a lot of funny comments. John's been watching all the comments that come in while I've been just talking, because I can't, I don't know how other Periscopers do this. I can't talk and actually watching all his comments, but he's here, he's been watching them. Any come through that we should talk about?
How do you
Mr.
get
John?
income? Someone said. How do you get income?
How do you think, get income?
Yes.
Or how?
I think they're asking about you specifically.
Classy Career Girl. Okay, that's a good question. So how do we make income? We've made income in many different ways over the last 5 years, but currently right now we make income through online courses. We make some income through, occasionally I do some individual coaching with members in my programs, so make a little income there. We also make some income on advertising at Classy Career Girl as well. But the most important thing really is that there's not one thing that we do. So at the end of the month, our bookkeeper will send us, our statement, and we'll look at it, and it's like money is coming from all these different places. It's really about multiple streams of income. There's not one thing that is doing it. There's just a bunch of different things that are coming in at once, and that's really how we've built our business structure. So, sometimes we have some months where we get a ton of companies coming to us wanting to advertise at ClassyCareerGirl.com, and of course, that's high in advertisement. But then, of course, we've done a lot of changes over the past few years, especially the last year. So that's really allowed us. So sometimes we've had to increase in others to support us in other ways too. But that's how we make income. Right now, we're truly mostly off online courses. You can check those out at classycrew.com/courses. I think one came in about launching. What is your app?
How long does it take to make a full course and launch?
Okay, so to make a full course and launch, so I'm actually working with one of my clients on that right now, and we've chunked it down into 90 days. So I'm a huge fan of putting your goals into 90 days and kind of creating your calendar of what you need to get done each month. And that's exactly what she is doing. So like I said, I'm a big fan as well of creating the course with the people that are participating, your students. So all of my courses, the very beginning, I don't have module 2 done until we're on that week. So module 1 comes, I always have an outline of what's gonna happen. I love creating courses. I could create courses every month, but I'm not allowed to anymore because now we're focusing on making them really good courses and improving them. But I always have an outline, so I'd recommend that you put your outline together, but don't worry about creating all of the content before you put it out there and start selling it. So I'd chunk it all into 90 days. I'd probably, the first month is all about preparation, creating your outline. The second month, I would start creating all of your marketing materials. So if you're doing any advertising, all of your I always do kind of a webinar that leads into the course that's free so people can kind of see what the course is going to be about. And then launching it, that's kind of for that third month. So that's what I would do. I'm not sure of your name. Do you remember the name that asked that question? I'm sorry. Names. So awesome. Thank you for your question. It was Veronica. Oh, hi, Veronica. I know you. I've talked to you before. Good question, Veronica. So, hi. What was the next one? Is there any more?
I didn't see any.
You didn't see any? Oh, I've been seeing them come up. So if you have a question that we missed, please ask it again. We are excited to be here on Periscope. Our daughter just went to bed, so this is kind of fun. This is fun time for us after 7 p.m. So awesome. Well, if you guys, one more chance. If you guys have any other questions, we'd love to answer them. Any questions for Mr. CCG here? Anything else you want to add about what you remember about that initial course launch? Do you remember that?
The initial course launch. I remember it being a little bit chaotic.
It was chaotic.
I remember having an outline that I remember doing something every single week and trying to, what is your average residual income now from course you created long ago? That's a good question.
I'll answer that, but you keep going.
You wrote that down.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so one thing that Anna's super good at that I am not very good at is creating a vision. So she's really good at outlining and planning and saying, hey, here's where we want to go. And so she would outline the whole course. And then once we had it all outlined, then it was time to start creating it. And so that's where then it comes into the logistics of how do we actually get that done. And so doing that first course was a lot of outline and then hustling to actually get that all done. And I think we were creating every single week.
As we went.
so people were in the course and they were taking module 1 week 1, and we were creating module 2 like that week. So we were 1 week ahead.
Yeah, and he's talking about Corporate Rescue Plan. Hi, Ida. Saw that you just joined.
What's up, Ida?
You're talking about Corporate Rescue Plan that we just did last year.
Yes, I'm talking about Corporate Rescue Plan. And so that was, I mean, that's the course that we cranked out together. That was awesome and chaotic and fun, and but yeah, we were a week ahead. So it was basically like preparing an online course. And the people are taking the course, and we're creating the content a week ahead, which was really good in some respects, because we got to see the reaction to the first module, and then we got to kind of tweak the next steps, the next module, based on feedback. So it was really kind of an ongoing learning process, and got to create it with the clients as they were going through it. So it was kind of like a beta test, like we're getting feedback as we're creating. And then once it's all done, so this is now the point where we're at. It's all done and we're improving as we go, right? So we have taken all that feedback, and now we're doing like round 2. So we're going to basically redo the whole thing and redo the content without the deadline of being a week ahead.
Which is a good lead in to your question. I think it was Coco. The average residual from a course that we created a long time ago. So it's a great question, but I don't have it because we have continued to improve all of the courses as we went. So that Get Unstuck Bootcamp that I created 5 years ago, like I don't still have it. Like it got old and I put it away because I didn't think it was, I'm kind of a perfectionist. So the courses that I put out there, I make sure that they're very, very, very good. So there's that aspect. So I don't really have any that have been, I've just set them up and they just keep running, and like I'm still making money off them because they're just, it's not residual to me. I mean, it's not even necessarily passive, because I'm still making them really, really good. The only one I could say that is pretty much done right now would be Love Your Career Formula 2.0, and we just created the 2.0 version in the fall. But the other thing, Coco, is that I think there's a definition too that I should make clear too. Many of the courses that I created in the past, like that first Get Unstuck Bootcamp, I created it live with the participants, and I ran it live. And so that's how I've chosen to do a lot of the courses, is like there's Q&A calls and there's live webinars. And so that's something to think about. Not until just recently, these past few months, have we actually created self-study courses that are seriously just put them on the shelf and then you guys run with them and then you take them. So like a year from now, Coco, I can maybe answer that question. Maybe a couple years from now, who knows, maybe I'll probably redo them all anyways. And I will. See.
You will, I guarantee it.
I do get to a point where I am happy with the courses. Okay, good, Coco, I'm glad that makes sense. Like Love Your Career Formula 2.0, I think it's like my best work ever. I'm extremely happy with it. But I've taken courses before and just not been, I don't know, I like to provide audios, I like to provide the slides, I like to provide very, very good video with like me on the video that's professional. Like I go get my hair done, I go get my makeup, like I make it like very, very good, and I put a lot into it. I put a lot of time into putting the outlines together, the scripts together. So I'm not winging it. Like I've been on courses and they're winging it, and it's like, you're not giving me like workbooks and like worksheets, and that's the type of course that I like to create.
And I think that goes back to the prep, right? So there's a lot of prep that goes into it before you start like actually recording. So it's not like...
Oh, thanks, Ida. Ida says it is a great program. She's actually been in Love Your Career Formula and Corporate Rescue Plan. So yes. We love Ida. And yeah. she's now our social media intern. So hey, we love her over here at PCG.
Ida. What's happening? How we learn has changed.
How we learned has changed over the year as well, from podcasting to periscoping and webinars to groups. Yes, from Veronica. It definitely has. I mean, that's why we're on this. We know that the live route is becoming very, very important. And there's just a lot of webinars out there these days too. Coco, do you have prior facilitator experience? Does that make it easier or just practice? I do. I used to be a corporate trainer. I used to actually be an adjunct professor at DeVry University. So I do have a little bit of that in my background, but when I launched my first course, I did not. It's just something that I know I've gotten training on. Oh, I do want to say Udemy has a really good introduction course that's totally free that you can take. Udemy, I think it's udemy.com. They allow you to create courses, and that very first introduction course is really, really good. It teaches you like how to build a great course. So I would direct you there to kind of figure out how to start. If you want to see how some of our courses are done, we do have a course we just came out with 2 weeks ago. It's called Side Hustle School, and it's kind of all about this stuff, like how to really take your side hustle into a full-time business. And you can find out more about that at classycurlgirl.com/side hustle.